Hey road trippers, spring is here and it's time to get your fit right for this warmer weather. Get yourself some gear that's meant to last. Like these bad boys. Not bad, right? Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered from the sun with premium polarized shades, customized snow goggles, and much more. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. They have durable frames and extremely clear optics for all of our outdoor adventures. That's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by their lost and broken replacements, meaning if you're like me and lose or break a pair, even on day one, they'll send you a new pair. No questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. With Shady Rays, you can look good and feel good. To date, they've donated over 20 million meals to fight hunger with Feeding America. If you don't like them, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Again, their team, as I mentioned, always has your back. And here's an exclusive offer for all of you road trippers out there. Shady Rays is giving you their best deal yet. All you have to do is go to shadyrays.com and use their promo code Road Trippin for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades that are rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people online. That's shadyrays.com and enter the promo code Road Trippin today. Calling all our single road trippers out there. Confidence is key when it comes to dating, but if you've struggled to find worthwhile connections, it can be difficult to feel your best when meeting new people. With Talkify, that's spelled Tawkify, you'll feel confident that you're meeting someone special who is picked just for you. Now, Talkify is the country's #1 modern matchmaking service that's designed to help you achieve relationship success. Their trusted compatibility specialists hand select successful and compelling candidates so you can date consciously and productively. Here's how it works. The Talkify matchmakers meet with you to learn about what you're looking for in a partner. Then they'll select and screen potential match candidates for you, doing background checks, video interviews, and asking the tough questions that are just too awkward for first dates. From there, your matchmaker plans your dating instructions and handles all communications for you, creating a safe and stress-free dating experience. Talkify is committed to finding your match. 80% of matched clients met their person within the first 12 matches. And right now, Talkify is offering all Road Trippin' listeners 20% off when you become a client at Talkify.com/roadtrippin. That's Tawkify.com/roadtrippin for 20% off when you become a client. So head over to Talkify.com/roadtrippin today. What are you eating?
The white Oreos.
Oh, disgusting.
The white Oreos are a top 3 cookie.
What? No.
I would grab them before I would grab the regular Oreos.
Oh, it's a little early for
and
the
Oreos are outstanding. Oreos are 10 out of 10. I'm just saying.
Not all. Double stuffed.
That's fair.
Oh yeah, you're over here talking about thin Oreos, and I'm like, give me all the juice. Give me all the meat.
She wants all the cream.
Hallie,
she wants double the cream.
You just said. You're talking about double stuffed. Give me the meat. Give me the juice. It is too early. Come on.
It is never too early, Channing. Stop acting old.
Channing goes, subscribe to the OF.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We have listeners that like that shit. Having said that,
for sure.
Between the thin Oreos and the reheatable croissant witches that you were just eating.
Ooh, shit's fire.
Oh, no. Mine are a much better quality than that fucking reheated bullshit he's got over there.
It's delicious.
Did you cook it in the microwave?
Yes.
I'm sorry. We all have a much lower standard for microwavable things. So
please explain.
I got an expensive microwave. Does that help?
What's a 10 microwave food is probably a fucking 2 at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Touche.
This is a hard 3. This is a hard
okay.
So
if they were to serve that to you at a restaurant,
I'm gonna tell you this. Look, listen. The reason why I didn't bite it, this motherfucker, the minute it gets room temperature, this motherfucker froze up like petrified wood. I took one bite. I went to go get a coffee. I came back and I said, damn near chipped my tooth. I said, you know what? This ain't it. You got to get
bro.
it while it's molten
I tried.
lava
See,
hot.
I'm glad you guys came to the realization of like, if it's a good microwavable thing, that means it's probably a restaurant 3.
I also want to say it's 2023. When are you going to dive into the air fryer? Because it's so much better.
I honestly, the wife does it. I've never used it.
That seems like a multi-step process. I'm more of a microwavable or buy something.
I was not talking to you, Richard. KYP, which we're going to get into something with that coming up later in the show, and you won't want to miss it, so stick around. But before we dive into all the latest with the NBA, because there's a lot to catch up on the floor and off, we want to welcome our Shady Rays family to the podcast.
Yes.
Did you guys get your shades? Did you guys
Yes,
get your
I have
shades?
mine.
Yes.
I did not know we were. First of all, I got the aviators with like the thin wire. I look
have no
good.
idea what
I
you're
look like a
talking
cop. I look like a cop, but I look great. I look like the ops. What are you doing right now, Channing?
Dude, watch this. Watch this. Watch what I'm doing.
Maybe he's getting his Shady Rays out.
Oh,
We'll tell you all about them as well.
Is this your OnlyFans camera, Channing? Is this your OnlyFans camera?
What would you be even showcasing on OnlyFans?
Feet
The hog?
pics. The hog.
All the juice.
All the
It's probably a hog. The piglet. Let's be honest. Let's call it what it is. Not a hog. It's a piglet.
The piglet.
Can I please
My
tell
little
you that I'm not going to be able to
blanket.
unsee
Your
that.
little bacon blanket. Your little bacon blanket. Just
Okay,
joking.
this is neither here nor
Chad's
there,
got
but
4
we're already
kids.
here.
He's never used
We're
a
already
blanket.
here.
He's never had a pig in the blanket. It's just a
God,
pig.
Get out of here. Yo,
Let's-
it is so funny.
Channing
to
still
me,
cuts
the
up his hot
terminology,
dogs.
A shrimp, right?
Oh, what?
A shrimp thing is cute. Like it
What
makes
shrimp
me
thing?
laugh.
What shrimp thing?
Yours is like a shrimp?
No, I'm not saying mine's like a shrimp, but it's a term where people are like, man, get your little shrimp up out of here. Oh, when I see that social media, I'm crying. Oh, I'm literally
What
crying
social
right
media are you seeing where they're talking about
Oh,
someone's
mind
cock
your
and calling it a
business,
shrimp?
Richard. Mind your business.
Just saying.
I'm on Instagram too much. I'm trying to keep up with what's going on in the NBA.
I don't know. I feel like that sounds like flagged content.
Okay, let's dive into the
only
NBA, which,
kind
by
of
the
dive
way,
into
your laugh and your brother Logan's laugh is so much alike, and I'm excited
Oh,
to
it's
see
disgusting.
Logan because we will be in Vegas next weekend.
Oh, yes,
okay.
we will.
Cheers. Having said that, take a drink. Before we dive into like all the like meaty, I'm on that right now, of the NBA, Anthony Davis turns 30. I feel like we've been talking about him at 27 his entire career, but he turns 30 on Saturday, and per social media, they celebrated last night because the Lakers were off until Friday. So it kind of had my wheels spinning on, can you guys give us a flashback to your 30th birthday? Did you guys do anything fun?
Oh, yeah.
What'd
What'd you do, Richard?
What'd you do, What'd you do, Channing?
My name's not Richard. I went to Mexico with 20 of our friends and rented out this house, and
I remember
it
it.
was amazing. Yeah. It
That's
was like this 4-story, had a chef. We were playing beer pong. There was 2 different pools overlooking a cliff. Pedregal in Cabo San Lucas.
So
That sounds amazing.
So my birthday's in the summer. So for my birthday, there was like 3 of my other friends that were all turning 30. Like we're all like the same age. We all had our birthdays probably, it was 4 of us. 5 of us, 5 of us. But all of our birthdays were within like a 4-month span. All of us turned 30. So one of our buddies, all of us, we flew to London. We hung out for a day. Then we flew down to South Africa. We went to the World Cup. We went to Durban. And then we went to Cape Town, and we went to 2 World Cup games. We tried to see the U.S., but they lost to Ghana right before. So we go and watch. We got to see Cristiano Ronaldo. We got to see Spain. We got to watch the Dutch play. And then after that, we flew back to the south of France. We hung out in Nice.
Oh,
and then we got on my buddy's yacht, and then we just went all through like Saint Tropez and all of the islands. That's what we did. That's what I did for my 30th.
I forgot I was talking to millionaires. My bad.
No, the best part about that is like,
Well, my story is like,
but the best part about that is like, I wish a motherfucker would ask me what I did for my 30th birthday. Sit back, here we go. This is what we did.
Yeah.
No, it was,
and like,
it was.
He shit on my story, and my shit was in a fucking 20,000 square foot mansion.
That's what I was gonna say.
Ocean. And his story shits on my story.
No, honestly, it was to this day maybe the best trip I've ever been on in my entire life. So like, it was just really cool. I've been on some really cool motherfucking trips, bro.
Oh my God. Okay.
So
well, my brother also
wait, what'd you do for your 30th, Allie?
I celebrated it with Channing in Detroit in an arcade.
Oh, that bar is great though. That bar is fun.
I'm a January.
That bar is fun.
I'm a January baby. Yeah,
Oh,
January
God.
baby. So the
was-
Cavs
hey,
played
look,
the Pistons.
But no, this is the thing. Let's reverse this, right? There are times in life where your birthday falls in a better space, right? If your birthday's in January, at school, your friends could bring you gifts. They could bring you a balloon. Like your team could do something in school. My birthday's June 21st. None of my fucking friends were around. None of my friends were around. There was no like, hey, Richard, happy birthday at school. There was none of that shit. So it's like sometimes you get like kids that have birthdays in like December 18th. They're getting gypped on their birthday. It's just the fucking truth. So like,
So instead, you played in the NBA for almost 7 years and you decided to just pay to have all your friends around. Love it. Congratulations.
yes,
That's amazing.
That is the best use of your money. The people that I like, I want you here, right? Best use of your money,
I
people.
love that.
Remember that. When you get money,
I love
people,
that.
remember this. When you get money, your friends can change, or you can bring along one or two friends. You can't bring along the whole friend group. You can't be buying dinners for 12 people. What you do is you're saying like, hey, I had Eric. Eric was one of my closest friends. I was like, I want to go to Cancun. You're fucking coming with me. Let's go. Like I'm not, and it's like they'll be appreciative. They'll say thank you. That's all stuff. But I'm not looking for something. It's just like, bro, I get it. You're 25. You're fucking working a job. I got money. We're going to Cancun, or we're going to go on this fucking European trip. I got you, bro. You've been my dude since we were 12. I'm going to make fun of you the whole time. I'm going to make you pay for something. You're going to buy a real nice dinner. You're going to buy a night out one day. You're going to pay for something now. And I'm going to look at you like,
the good friends always try to get breakfast or lunch. Because that's
always key. When you're in and I've been this guy. I've been very fortunate. I'm in groups where I'm the poor one. Okay. I've been in groups where I'm the poor one. Even in the NBA. If I'm like in the NBA and it's like Bron and D Wade and the motherfuckers looking around, I'm like, the motherfuckers got a lot more money than me. Right. I'm like, hey.
Doesn't he make you guys pay too?
Yeah, no, but we want to because we've also been in the position where like everybody here is dependent on us. And like, we get it. Bron, we don't need shit from you. Like we can all chip in, but always the key thing here is if you're ever on one of these trips, people always buy the breakfast, always buy the lunch. If you ain't got no money and everyone's hungover,
first round.
First round, you get that first round, right? What you want to do if you ain't got no money, right? And you hanging out with people, wake up, go buy best breakfast burritos, go buy 8 breakfast burritos, go buy Taco Bell, showing like, hey, everybody, I got this for you. All right, there's 30, 40 bucks that you spent and everyone's super appreciative. They remember the gesture. You're contributing to the success of whatever the fuck we're doing. So you ain't got to have a lot, but you got to find your ways. You got to pick your spots. The early lunch and when it gets to dinners, motherfuckers start ordering steaks and cocktails and champagne and wine and shit. Oh. That shit can get real fucking like, hey, listen, you know? And even if you look at like, want to be like, you can look at like a couple other civilians in the group and be like, hey, y'all 3 want to split this? Let's go. And I'll do the sneaky one where I'll like go to the fucking service staff and be like, hey, this one's on me. I'm going to get this shit out the way. You know what I'm saying?
That is your $1 million advice for the week from millionaires. Okay, so this is not an easy transition, but it's a transition I'm going to make with the utmost respect and sensitivity towards the matter, because you bring up a point. You guys both bring up a point in just discussing that element of just life and so forth about surrounding yourself with the right people. And so I think we dive into kind of the latest with the NBA with the latest on the Memphis Grizzlies. And it starts with Ja Morant. There is a human side to all of this, which is priority, first and foremost. So we haven't talked about it. We haven't discussed. I'm going to allow you guys to kind of break this down as you wish. But kind of the latest with Ja Morant is that he will not face charges in Colorado related to the live stream for which he was brandishing a gun at a nightclub on Saturday. The Colorado police announced. The Memphis Grizzlies putting out the latest that he will be away from the team for at least 4 more games. And so there's, again, the human side, and then I'll give you the other and I'll open the floor for you both. As a team, the Memphis Grizzlies are without Ja. They're without Steven Adams, who just got reported as well that he got a stem cell injection in his injured knee and will be reevaluated, keyword there, in 4 weeks, which means he will miss the remaining of the regular season at a minimum. Lose Brandon Clark to the Achilles tear.
Shout out our Phoenix brother. Shout out our Phoenix brother, Brian Clark. I don't know if you know this. He Desert Vista. Yeah.
Oh shit, an East Valley cat. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I knew I liked him.
Well, I was doing it because I was watching. I was like, I didn't really know about it because he didn't go to Arizona State or Arizona. But I like saw in the thing and I was like, oh shoot, he had a great game in Phoenix. I was like, oh, this is a Desert Vista is like a real Arizona school. Like there's some schools that are like, there's prep schools like DeAndre Ayton, right? And some of these guys like go to prep schools in Arizona and you can claim from Arizona. But like Desert Vista is like suburbs of Phoenix.
Okay. So the Grizz have lost 3 in a row and are the number 3 seed now in the West. So with all of that, I allow you guys to kind of give your thoughts.
Now, there's a couple of things here, and I know everyone. I think Jalen Rose, I don't know, you guys can Google what Jalen Rose said about it. I think he was 10 out of 10 because a lot of people know Jalen Rose's story. And, like, he's a little bit older now. So, like, our generation knows that, like, he was hanging out in houses and cops were raiding them and he was a top 5 guy. And we understand, like, the Fab Five and their impact on sports culture. Like, you talk about how basketball and pop culture have an intersection. Like Jordan, Magic, Fab Five, they're all in the same like pop culture lexicon. They're all there. That's how fucking big Jalen Rose is. So he said it best, you know, from my situation, I would say this. People that kind of know and whatever. Like I remember there was a tweet probably a couple months ago. And someone says, he was like, Richard Jefferson's dad is one of the original Bloods. You would never know that from listening to him talk. And I actually quote tweeted it and said, because I was taught to never glorify it. I was taught to never that it wasn't a positive thing, that type of lifestyle. When I moved at 8 years old with my single mom with 2 other brothers on welfare, and we left South Central because it was that bad in the 80s, you know, Snowfall and NWA and all Boys in the Hood. Yes, that's where I was living, right? South Central LA. My mom went to Dorsey High School. My dad went to Morningside and Inglewood. I know about all my aunt was shot and killed, and I have 3 girl nephew our cousins that are the exact same age as me and my 3 brothers. So we used to hang out. Their mom was struggling with things and ended up getting shot and killed when we were like 8. No, I was probably like 9 or 10 when she ended up getting shot and killed. Right. I know about all of that lifestyle. And so the reason why I was never glorified is because there was nothing ever positive about it. And there's nothing cool about it. There's no rep about it. I don't bring it up. I don't talk about it because there's nothing there, right? I got removed from the situation and my mom went to school and worked her way up to a spot where we could leave that behind. And I understood why it was left behind because I know about people that were killed. My father was shot and killed. Now he was older, but he was just hanging out in broad daylight in an area in Compton that he had friends and grew up in. It wasn't late night at 3 a.m. It wasn't 12 o'clock. It was still sunny out and he was shot and killed. So it's just like those areas and the things that you might want to glorify from them are really bad. And Ja Morant is in a space right now where I can't speak on detail because I don't know, but it just sounds like he's trying to be a part of something or not leaving something behind that he should. That's it. He should leave it behind. I don't care about street cred and rep. if you're taught the right way, so either he's trying to represent something that he shouldn't, and it's like, bro, what are you doing? Or the converse part about it is that he's not leaving something behind that he should. And hopefully this moment lets him recognize that. He can talk to, maybe he needed some different influences in his life. And there's people that are reaching out to him being like, bro, we've seen this story before with too many players. Like players that were better than you. Greater men have fallen to some silly shit. So that's my thing on Ja. I feel like he didn't do anything that is like irreparable. He's not going to jail. He's not a fucking criminal. He's a young kid that needs to reevaluate some decisions and the things that he is doing. And that's okay. If you've never been a 23-year-old millionaire that is in that position, it's hard for you to really speak on it. But yeah, we can lose sight very, very quickly at times of reality.
I think for me, it really comes down to, number one, like, I hope he gets it together. And I think, to be honest, this is just me. This is not saying this as a punishment. I think him taking the rest of the season, this is no offense to everyone else on the Grizzlies, no Ja Morant, no Clark, no Steven Adams, good luck, right? Whatever you end up in the playoffs, the West is stacked, right? So, they're not going to have a chance to win a series without those stars. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is great, but I don't know if he's the man yet. So if they prove me wrong, I'll come on here and say I was wrong. But to me, you look at Ja. Ja stopped getting attention from basketball and started loving attention from the wrong things to me, right? And that attention was, maybe he does have a drinking problem. Maybe he does have some other things that are going on in his personal life that he's not dealing with. So the attention that he was getting or giving himself wasn't coming from the work on the court, right? Like that to me is the biggest thing. You look at like Kevin Durant or Devin Booker or Kobe or Dirk Nowitzki or like some of the players that we look up to, they were filling their body, their soul up with the game, right? With their friends and family. And they made the main thing the main thing. And I think Ja lost that. But losing that within that culture, and Richard knows this, we've lost a lot of guys to bad habits. We've lost a lot of guys to going out to clubs too much. But why are you going out to clubs? Oh, you're getting attention for being something. You're just being famous, right? Whether your team wins or loses, you're getting attention for the biggest chain or how many bottles you're ordering or how much money you have or things that you may be able to give to other people. What I want Ja Morant to do is take the time to really reevaluate himself in this situation and find that love within basketball, right? Within his family structure, within the right people that are going to challenge him to be everything that he should be. Every year, Ja Morant, since his first year, comes in the first month of the season, Ja Morant, MVP conversation, right? A long list. 3 months later, he's not on there. Ja Morant has the ability to be an MVP in this league with his people want to love Ja Morant, his tenacity, his emotional investment into the game. Would it seem like his leadership had fallen off a little bit this year, but the past years you saw it. So for me, I want him to take time off to really get himself right so that when he comes back, we can see that emotional investment into the game and the process and taking advantage of this short window that each player has playing basketball. So get yourself healthy, move everything else off and make the main thing the main thing.
The one thing, and this is the last thing I'll say, and there's two parts to it, is one, I understand players, right? There's some people that have said you can be a target when you're in these spots. I don't disagree with that, but I also believe this to be true. I have played with Steph. I have played with Tim Duncan. I have played with LeBron in his prime, Jason Kidd in his prime. I have played with Jokic, Channing Frye. I played with Kyrie in his prime. You can have security. A lot of those guys never used security, but all of those guys, I would say, are in the same ilk of notoriety as Ja Morant. Ja Morant is not more famous than any of those guys that I said. Not currently. none of those guys were carrying around guns with them. So don't tell me because you're famous that you're a target. That's true, but there's been other people more famous that for some reason weren't necessarily targets, that they were carrying around guns in that manner. I'm not saying that those people do not own firearms. I'm saying in that manner, carrying them around and showing them off, and we're trying to make this he has security. It's like, no, you're not that famous. None of those guys were in that position. Like, and some of them came. We know LeBron came from one of the shittiest situations that people can come from. There's a lot of people that have come from worse situations than the one that Ja was raised in. So again, it takes us back to the point of either he's doing something and getting himself involved in situations he shouldn't, or he's not leaving things behind that he should. And it leads us to a problem place that hopefully, and I believe that he is, I have optimism and faith that he is going to do all of the right things, because he's technically never really been in trouble. It's just there's these incidences that are leading up that the trouble could be ridiculous. Right?
Well, Richard, one thing, not to interrupt. Are you done?
Sorry,
No,
I'm done. I'm done.
I will say this. Think about like Charles Barkley, right? Think about what happened when Charles Barkley
Charles been in some shit.
Went to Phoenix, went to some shit. Now, one thing that I know, one thing's for sure, two things for certain, shout out Cam Newton, is that Ja Morant now will have, if he accepts it, not only the NBA that wants him to succeed, think about how many players have the opportunity to have their own shoe. Not that this is just about money, but think about now Nike goes, you know what? You are not only, we're not only invested in you when it comes to money, we're invested in you as a human. So now, and we know this will happen, you have made some bad habits. Now we need to make sure that we protect you from yourself until you've shown us differently. We can't invest this much into you and just let you go by the wayside. That ain't happening. Mm-hmm. Now think about his endorsements. Powerade, Nike, you're not just going to fall off with that. People are going to make sure that you succeed if you want to succeed. And that to me is what's exciting about this next iteration, volume 2 of Ja Morant. Like if him getting himself, I'm not going to use the word clean because I don't know if he has a problem, but I had read somewhere that he may go to rehab to really kind of figure himself out. Now people go to rehab for all types of reasons.
Clean can be mentally also.
Yeah, right. And then, your body, for most athletes, 99% of athletes, everything is habitual. So if somebody drinks every Monday, if they drink a gallon of liquor every Monday at 9, your body just tunes in to do that. If you're used to eating a steak before every game, you're not even going to consciously think about it. You're going to order a steak, whether you play it or not. Richard is now 44 years old, still takes naps. Why? Because he's been taking naps since he was 18 years old. And this is just the truth.
I was taking naps since I was like 15 or 16.
See? And it just fall into the wrong habits. And that's what I'm saying. He needs to take time away from basketball to re-break those habits, to make new ones so that we can get the best version of Ja. And I'm excited about Ja version 2.
The scariest part of the whole situation, it was like, how are there all these back-to-back incidences? There was a lack of touch of reality in my space, and we've all done stupid stuff at 23 and drunk. But to be drunk after a loss in a strip club on your IG Live, you weren't caught on somebody else's. It wasn't a boy that was recording video and someone stole it. It was you actively promoting all of these things.
You wanted to get caught.
Coming off.
You wanted to get caught.
Yeah, coming off a report from the Washington Post that you brandished a gun, coming off this was like days before. That's where it got scary. You're like, wait, these are all over the last couple of like weeks and days. Oh, we need a moment here. We need a moment. Mm-hmm. And I say that with respect. We've all, Channing, when your parents, passed away, you had a moment, right?
Oh yeah.
There he could be dealing with shit. When my father's passed away, I've had some moments. We all need some moments. Like, I fully support him. I think he's going to be fine. Because that's what I want to believe.
I appreciate you both for diving deep into that. Clearly, it is very real. And when it comes to us, we wish the best. I think Ja is so easy to root for between the lines, and it's no different outside the lines. And we hope that that recovery is and gets to where it needs to be for him. Hey, road trippers, spring is here, and it's time to get your fit right for this warmer weather. Get yourself some gear that's meant to last. Like these bad boys. Not bad, right? Our friends at Shade Rays have you covered from the sun with premium polarized shades, customized snow goggles, and much more. Shade Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. They have durable frames and extremely clear optics for all of our outdoor adventures. That's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by their lost and broken replacements, meaning if you're like me and lose or break a pair, even on day one, they'll send you a new pair. No questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. With Shady Rays, you can look good and feel good. To date, they've donated over 20 million meals to fight hunger with Feeding America. If you don't like them, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Again, their team, as I mentioned, always has your back. And here's an exclusive offer for all of you road trippers out there. Shady Rays is giving you their best deal yet. All you have to do is go to shadyrays.com and use their promo code Road Trippin for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades that are rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people online. That's shadyrays.com and enter the promo code Road Trippin today. Calling all our single road trippers out there. Confidence is key when it comes to dating, but if you've struggled to find worthwhile connections, it can be difficult to feel your best when meeting new people. With Talkify, that's spelled Tawkify, you'll feel confident that you're meeting someone special who is picked just for you. Now, Talkify is the country's #1 modern matchmaking service that's designed to help you achieve relationship success. Their trusted compatibility specialists hand select successful and compelling candidates so you can date consciously and productively. Here's how it works. The Talkify matchmakers meet with you to learn about what you're looking for in a partner. Then they'll select and screen potential match candidates for you, doing background checks, video interviews, and asking the tough questions that are just too awkward for first dates. From there, your matchmaker plans your dating instructions and handles all communications for you, creating a safe and stress-free dating experience. Talkify is committed to finding your match. 80% of matched clients met their person within the first 12 matches. And right now, Talkify is offering all Road Trippin' listeners 20% off when you become a client at Talkify.com/roadtrippin. That's Tawkify.com/roadtrippin for 20% off when you become a client. So head over to Talkify.com/roadtrippin today. Transitioning to, we'll stay in the West, the Phoenix Suns. Are we serious? The party has been rescheduled, to quote Devin Booker. Since Kevin Durant debuted with the Suns last week, the team is 3-0 after beating the Hornets, Bulls, Mavericks all on the road. KD and D-Book combined for 188 points in those 3 games, second to only Wilt Chamberlain and various teammates back in the early 60s. And then last night, he warmed up for the game. And the latest here, and then I'll give you guys the floor again, is the Suns fear, this is the latest per reports, the fear that Kevin suffered a grade 2 ankle sprain and could miss 4 to 6 weeks, which means regular season, potentially early postseason, if that is in fact what happened. I will say D-Book put up still 44 last night, 6'3", 74% shooting from the field, and created some history. 4 straight 35-plus point games for D-Book, which is the first player in Suns history. Can the Suns contend without Kevin Durant?
Hell no.
Hell no. No.
They're going to be
but
good.
This is what I'm saying.
But
this is what I can say. Kevin Durant's IQ is, I think, at times, as a natural basketball player and movement and spacing and ability, is top 10 out of 10, right? So if he comes back, every time he's come back from like the knee injury, you saw his numbers. It was like he never left, right? So if Kevin Durant, not saying he would be the best version, but Kevin Durant could come back in 5 weeks, rest his ankle, do the stuff, do the strengthening, because you can still shoot. So he could come back in 5-6 weeks and go back to being a 30-point-a-game player. I believe that. Like, it's not going to be like 15, 17, trying to get rid of him. That motherfucker's going to show up and go for 30. So if they can get there and be in a respectable spot if he gets in the 4 and 5, I think if he comes back, they can build back into the team that they were going to be. by the end of a series. By game 6, game 7, Kevin Durant will be at full bore. Playoffs are a little bit slower, more direct with how you're attacking. I don't think the Suns have been eliminated by this, but they have to keep, if they're in the play-in, and then it just becomes a little bit more dicey.
I think the Suns are going to be fine during the regular season. They're just built that way, right? You got Devin Booker and DeAndre.
But they got no depth though, bro. Now, and
right.
Devin Booker's gonna have to do a lot of work.
A lot of work. To me, the reason you would want to bring back Kevin Durant with at least 1 or 2 games before the playoffs is like, yeah, during the regular season you can miss a bunch of games and come back and get 30. It's even more of a daunting task to miss a bunch of games after only playing 3, after missing a bunch of games, and then play at championship level. Like, because as much as KD can just go get his rhythm, what about the guy that's starting in your place that now has to go back to the bench? What plays are you going to run? What kind of cadence, like communication, like all those things need to be in place for you to go on the best run. Winging that in the playoffs, especially in the West, is going to be a beast, right? You got to think like, let's say they mess around and play the Lakers first round, right? And we had talked about AD. We had talked about AD saying, we want that AD game, and we got it, right? We saw the old AD like, okay, he revving it back up. We're like, that's what we want. That's what we want. But let's see him do it again. They fucked his nose up, and he still was out there getting buckets.
They scratched his nose.
They tore his nostrils up.
Yeah, that shows it.
Fucked it up.
Yeah. Okay, so I like that thought. And
can I say last thing to add to Channing? And you know this. You don't need to be playing championship basketball in the first round.
True.
You don't. That's what I'm saying. So it's like who their first round opponent
West,
is. I'm just saying, if you give him 6 games and then he gets to another series, that's another 6 games. Now you're talking about 12 games with rest in between, no back-to-backs. Like I'm just saying that what I've seen from Kevin Durant after missing substantial time and coming back and playing fucking ridiculous, he's going to play very good. I'm not going to say ridiculous. He will be a very good player upon his return.
The first round matchup would be Golden State, Phoenix, Golden State. Oh God, that's what I'm saying. Like
that's one. Now let's eliminate Golden State. Like if it was Memphis or Sacramento, how would you feel in him coming back? If it was Denver, yeah, exactly. Those are the higher seeds. We're saying this based off of experience of being afraid.
Memphis is going to drop. Memphis drops. Let's say Phoenix is 3rd. Then they'll play the Clippers the first round. I mean, it's still what sucks is
there are some bad matchups. There's some bad matchups there but there's some good matchups there too. So it really depends on where they fall. That's what I was saying. If they fall to a favorable matchup that they can win in 6-7 with Kevin Durant building himself in, there's multiple teams there that we believe they can do that. I would say Sacramento. I would say Memphis. I would say Dallas. These are teams that they could build up and play and beat. Yeah. And then he would be okay moving on.
I am going to say this goes without saying. Obviously, we know this. This freaking sucks when it comes to Kevin Durant.
Oh, it sucks.
I hate when he is not playing. Okay, so having said that, where would you guys like to go next? And then I'll ask you the question. I'm like 4 shots deep. Do you want to talk Lakers? Do you want to talk Warriors? Do you want to talk Knicks?
My question is, do y'all think Sacramento's going to win a first-round matchup? How about that?
Could you be any more ADD right now? I love you.
This is what I would say. They are
depends who they get.
This is not going to go well. They are a very situational, successful team.
Sacramento Clippers. Do they win that series?
No.
No.
Okay.
Because in the fourth quarter,
7, right?
2 plays 7.
Let me say this. It could be De'Aaron Fox's coming out party, right? Okay. We saw what Donovan Mitchell did his rookie year to Russ and to Paul George. Like as a rookie, outplayed them and got Utah to the second round. That was Donovan Mitchell's coming out party. He did it as a rookie. We see who Donovan Mitchell is now. Maybe this is De'Aaron Fox's. So we can all doubt him based off of what we believe. But the one caveat being is all of a sudden De'Aaron Fox looks like he's going to be that dude for the next 4 or 5 years.
Sacramento, Dallas. Who are you taking?
I'm going to take Dallas with the one
Sacramento,
caveat
Minnesota.
being De'Aaron Fox.
But now, mind you, Karl-Anthony Towns is coming back.
I take Sacramento. I take Sacramento over that series.
Okay.
Hang on. The Lakers are in the 9th seed and 2 games out of 5. There is sole possession of the 9th seed. What if it was the Kings in that 2 spot and the Lakers?
Yeah, it's hard, man. The Lakers, after the trade deadline, I don't know. They're just so much more.
Do they have D'Angelo Russell?
Is
he going to play basketball again?
Yeah, I think he's supposed to play.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hey!
The expectation is the hope. Yeah.
Now, the biggest what if, like, and we say every single year, is Anthony Davis healthy? Right?
Well, it might be if Big Fella's healthy too. Big Fella's got to be healthy.
Can we talk about Anthony Davis? Can we talk about Anthony Davis? Because I get so excited when AD gets in these, and you guys know this, I text you right away. I'm just waiting for you. I want you to have to say, like, put respect on him. So can you talk about what you're seeing from, and I hate that question, by the way, let me rephrase it. Can we dive into what we're seeing from Anthony Davis right now? Just posted his 8th career 30-20 game. The team is number 1 defensively since the All-Star break when it comes to rating in the NBA, which above the Bucks, above the Grizzlies. He is a big part of that. He has now played 15 straight games since injury. Each grouping, if you will, of 5 games played, just better and better. Games when he's not playing without that of LeBron James, I believe the stat is like 30 points a game, 15 boards, 54% from the field, plus 49. But the dominance you're seeing from him right now, Channing.
We figured it out. AD's a sprinter. He's not a marathon guy. It just is. It's like Kawhi's a sprinter.
Short distances,
right?
Short distances,
right? You say, hey, we have 35 games left. Here we go. He can click and turn it on. What we're seeing is, number one, physically, he's sacrificing his body. Where early on he would settle for a little more jumpers. Now he's putting guys on the block. I also think his enthusiasm has gotten a lot better. And I think it's because his teammates are finally like they're younger, they're bouncier, they're more spry. It seems like he's trusting them. And I'll tell you this, Jared Vanderbilt might be the acquisition of the century right now. Because
Josh Hart. I'm still on Josh Hart.
Oh, Josh Hart. Okay, I'll give you Josh Hart.
Josh Hart.
But I'm saying for a team, so the Knicks were great. The Knicks were good. Jalen Brunson balled out. You bring Josh Hart for the future of the Knicks. That is great. What I'm talking about for the Lakers is they were dead in the water. You bring in, D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt.
He brought life.
You let go of some people, right? You let go of some people. You bring in length, youth, enthusiasm, people who embrace the LA lifestyle. Now AD goes, oh, shit, okay, we got a chance. So he starts to click it in. And they're like, dude, we're going to you. Braun's thing is over. He's hurt now. And for me, AD is better when he has somebody who's equally as good defensively with him, right? Think about AD's some of his best years. Who is he playing with? Drew Holiday, right? Rondo. Like, he's playing with really good, another good defender.
Even with Dwight Howard. Even Dwight Howard, they were playing the 5. He was playing the 5. AD was at the 4. Defensively, those teams were number 1 ranked defense with under Frank Vogel. So you're right. Like when he's got defenders, even Schroeder was like all defense before that end of the end of the year where he just started acting weird and they're whatever. He turned down the extension, whatever whatever that story was. But he's always had very good defenders around him and he's a great hub. But if you're just asking him to be the defense, he's not built like that.
I didn't think he believed. You could see it on his face. From our point of view, from my point of view, he didn't believe this team could win before the break. And now he's like, oh, shit, we got a chance. And he's looking The Mavericks look like they can be beat. He's looking at the top 3 teams in the Western Conference, right? They're like, I'll take my chance on Denver, definitely against Memphis. They're not worried about Sacramento. Now, Phoenix, you got to be a little worried if KD's, but they go, we're deep, we can compete. Golden State, they're having some internal issues, right? And then the Clippers, that would be a pretty good matchup. And then Minnesota, they feel like they can beat. So for me, the Lakers are like, damn, we're in here. If we can stay here and be healthy, we like our chances versus any of these teams. Now, if they can shoot the ball, that's another thing.
Yeah. Now, my thing with AD is this. He's been balling. We know his ability. Like, we've known his ability for so long. Like, these numbers that he's putting up, he's put them up before. He's great. But there's nobody here that outside, we're not going to include Allie, but Channing and I, and probably a lot of people would not bet on AD to get and push his team to where they need to be. We believe he can do it. I believe he can do it. I know he's got the talent. He shows the ability. But if you tell me for 15 games, AD has to be great, between great and elite for these last, how many games are left?
16.
Great and elite the whole time for the rest of the way. Like, I know he can do it. I know he has the ability to do it. I've seen him doing it before. But would I bet $100 that he would do it? I'd be like,
can I ask you a question to that? Because
yes.
You had talked about that the other day, and it's been sitting on my mind. What about the time, and we're talking when he's healthy, because to your point, there's 16 games left. He's a sprinter. And I understand, because health is a big thing when it comes to Anthony Davis. What about the stretch in the bubble where he and LeBron won championships together? You both do not discredit them for the championship. We've talked about this. What about that does not allow you to
3 years
bet?
ago, Allie.
That was 3 years
You're
ago.
talking age? You're talking age?
No. I'm not talking age.
I'm
I'm talking about age. I'm not age. I don't think age is a factor. I think the amount of injuries and nicks and bangs up that he's had, his performance, his mid-range shooting, his three-point shooting, all of those things were down across the board. His availability was questioned. There was just too much inconsistency. Again, in the bubble, there was conversation that he should have won Defensive Player of the Year over Giannis, right? He was either one, like he was like maybe the best big man in the league, right? Looking like he was ascending. He was getting playing with the Lakers, looking like he was ascending. Since then, he has not even been remotely since that end of that game. He has not been remotely close to the same class as Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic. Those have been the top 3 guys for MVPs, and no one would say that AD has even been remotely in that class. So all 3 of them have almost surpassed him in a way that, like, so that's the only reason why when I'm like, 15 games, he's got to go be one of those 3 guys. Because that's what those 3 guys are doing, have done, do all season, and have done for the last 3 years. They have carried the fuck out of their team. They've carried. There was no Middleton. There was no Middleton for the first 30 games of the year. Giannis had them in the number 2 spot. Now he's got a great team around. I'm not disputing that, but AD has enough right now to make that type of run. Where if he's a top 5 player, which he has the talent, the ability, the numbers, if he does it, he can do it. This team, with what they have, if he goes and plays elite for the last 15 games, they can do it. I just get nervous putting $100 bet on that.
To your point, Channing, as well, he shows burst. I mean, he had that big burst earlier in the season when everyone was like, whoa, he's that guy. He was about to be a part of the MVP conversation, and then he's out for 5.5 weeks due to injury.
I will say this for fans. This is the best time to be watching basketball because of how close the West is.
The tiebreakers are a real thing, guys. Like, make no mistake, especially when you see how close it is. Tiebreaker games, series, like season series, those things, like they add a whole nother element to a game that only happens in the final quarter.
You're starting to see people, we didn't talk about Fred VanVleet getting mad at the refs. You're not talking about Tyrese Halliburton, right? And Patrick Beverly. You're not talking about, Devin Booker and and
Who did he
Luka,
just get?
right?
Oh,
You're
Luka.
noticing all these teams are getting real testy, right? Why? Is because people are starting to posture, and you love it because now most players can see the end of the season, right? And they're like, we can't wait. Right now, if you look at the West, as good as Denver is, I don't know if Denver's making it out of to the Western Conference. That's what's crazy. Like, so everybody feels that they have a chance. As shitty as the Lakers were before this, they're ninth and rolling. And the guy that is the biggest what if in the NBA is what ifing the shit out of the rest of the league, right?
AD.
And so for me, watching the players be so emotionally invested, you're like, well, people aren't playing defense or people aren't doing this. Okay,
No,
motherfucker,
they
you
are.
watch them now.
They locked it. Keep
Watching
watching.
that shit up, right?
You starting to see these. You starting to see these
Yes.
110, 107 games, right? You starting to see that. You starting to see motherfuckers a little tired. They're a little tired, so the way they're playing is a little bit more conservative. Like I guarantee you, the pace does not increase the last 25 games of the season, right? That's not when the pace is probably at its higher if you were to break it up in quarters. But boy, I tell you what, this shit gets fun right now. But you're right. AD can do it. AD can do the sprint. He can. And we all want to see it. He's at a point now where we're fucking rooting for him.
Yeah.
Right?
AD is Kawhi.
So,
AD is Kawhi. When he plays, you're like, holy shit, he's a top 10 player in the league. But then he's like, now he's out for 2 months. And you're like, well, what's going to happen? So you can't put talent-wise, he's up there with the top. Consistency-wise, we have a different bucket for him. Like, okay, you got to be over here because we got to put you in that. We got to put you in. You're bad when we see you, but we don't see you that often, bucket.
I also thought you were going to say this is the best time of year to watch basketball because of March Madness. Can I give a shout out to Toledo? Both men and women. The men put up the 90 ball today. They're both the number 1 seeds. They have the coach of the year on both sides.
The NIT?
Player of the years
congrats.
on the both sides. Shut up. Mac Tournament. Just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Having said that, let's finish. No.
Whoa.
Read these comments. You have to be careful.
Really, really quickly. Yeah, you can shout out Toledo. Can we give a shout out to the men's team at Arizona, top 10 in the country?
Oh, look,
United States.
You guys,
again?
You guys have microphones. You guys have microphones. I don't know what's going on with Arizona.
But you don't just talk about Toledo. You don't just talk about Toledo and then transition into the next topic.
Last time I checked, y'all didn't need someone to set you up every fucking time when it comes to topics.
Have you seen me play? Have you seen us play? Neither one of us can dribble. No.
Whoa, I can dribble. No. See, that's a common, Allie. Let's address this. This is a common
dribble.
Listen, Allie. This is a common misconception about my game. A common misconception that I could not dribble. It was selective dribbling, right? From 3-point line to 3-point line, that was not my dribble game. That was my sprint game. From 3-point line and in a half court, I had all of the handle I needed to get to where I needed to be. Fuck you. What the fuck are you talking about?
Do I have a
can't
hat
dribble.
so I can say cat?
No, listen. Rebound, grab a rebound and push it and drive. That was not my game. 3-point line, somebody was not going to outlet me. I played with Jason Kidd. I would run the lane. He would throw it ahead. I'd hit him with the Euro. I'd hit him with the left to right crossover. I'd pump fake, work the baseline. I had all the fucking moves I needed to in the half court. Facts.
As Allie applies her lip gloss, that's what she feels about Richard and his tangent on dribbling. Welcome to another
I can
TED
dribble.
Talk.
3-point line in. 3-point line in. 3-point line in. Don't you disrespect my handle there.
Like I said, keep going, Toledo. I will say, before we close this out, you guys would be great on a late night debate show. And I say late night because the only thing that you guys could not do and be on television, linear television during the day, is y'all would cuss each other out so bad when you debate.
Yeah,
could you debate against each other, though? Because y'all have that shared connection on that post that Channing just issued.
About not.
I will lie. As soon as I know I've lost, listen, we're gonna drag it out till you question yourself.
People,
what color is the sky? Channing motherfucker ain't blue. It's red. Channing
has gotten so much better. When we were kids, he would just lie, and I would call him out. because so many people didn't know. Because Channing would start saying stuff to like embellish stories and just to be funny, but it was to be funny. He didn't know he was going to get called out, right? He was like, yeah.
First, 30 episodes. It's one of my favorite stories that Rich, you always tell. Like the first 30 episodes here on Road Trippin, Channing would tell these stories, and then Rich would call him out, and I would be like off to the side, off of camera. Rich, you can't do that to Channing. You're so mean to Channing. And Richard's like, Allie, he's lying. I'm like, well,
I had to hype the story up a little bit. You know, nobody wants to see me go to the library. So I had to go attack a dude, got ran over by an alligator.
And we're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You got to the library.
And the funniest thing is like, I was one of the first people to kind of recognize it because I'm such like a little smart ass. And I'm like, and then other people started picking up. I'd never forget. Bron, we were all shooting after we would do like our group. It was like me, JR, Bron, like Switch, well, like whatever. So we're shooting. And Bron goes like this. Bron goes, Richard, I used to think that you were mean to Channing. Channing, you be on some bullshit. And I was like, I've been trying to. He said because this was season 2. This was season 2. So it was like we had this whole we had been together for like 9 months. So Bron was like, I used to think Richard was mean to you, but you had some bullshit. I was like, I've been trying to fucking tell you guys. I was like, yeah, he likes to fuck with us.
It's gentle bullshit. It's
gentle bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah. It was fun, but it's fine. That's part of the Channing charm. I'll give that to you because it's so funny. Because you're like, bro, what are you talking about? You're like, I don't fucking know. Fuck you guys.
No, you guys are amazing. I still need 2 other responsibilities from you though before you leave. Actually, so we're gonna end this episode because I can see that we're reaching our attention time. It's another edition of Road Trippin.